Hello, Will Thunder Talks here with another video. Today, I am going to discuss how I think fandom has changed. So, perspective here, I am a 31-year-old man who's chronically online, and that's where I'm going to start. Used to like a lot of anime, used to like a lot of manga, got caught up in a lot of fandoms when I was younger, and I think I kind of look around, especially at how young people, I guess also for context, I work with teenagers, so I guess I've got a bit of perspective on this, but fandom has changed. Fandom's really different, and I guess I feel that because I feel like the pace of information is thrown at us is really quick now, relative to how it used to be. And I guess I even feel like this landscape of YouTube, right? I think we build relationships with people. Relationships take time, right? It takes time to build a relationship with somebody, whether it's an influencer or somebody in a story, or somebody in a film, or somebody from a franchise. I think it's one of the reasons we haven't had that many franchises really build or grow, and we'd be kind of running on the coattails of older franchises, like they brought Dragon Ball Z back, and Naruto's still going, and One Piece is still going, and I was watching those when I was a kid. So Pokemon's still going. Pokemon started when I was born, man. So fandom's changed a lot, because I guess those stories continue because people around my age grew up with them. So we've built that relationship. We have that relationship, and we can share that relationship with our kids, nephews and nieces, younger siblings, etc. Right? We can kind of share that with them and help them build a relationship. But I feel like media is consumed so differently now that we don't get the chance really to develop those kinds of relationships with stories, with characters, with people that we're kind of used to, right? We've got short form content everywhere, people doing shorts about all kinds of stuff really quick, zip zabbity zoo. And part of my experience is I'm like on YouTube, and I look at a YouTube short, and then like I discover this new person through a YouTube short, and they're like pretty cool, and I seem to like them a little bit, and then I get recommended something else, and I forget them because I'm having something else thrown at me. And I kind of go through this loop where I don't get this time to really sit with what they're about a bit more, right? There's some zingers, some zanier bits, like I discovered Lucy Darling recently. I think she's very funny and witty. But like kind of people come in and out in kind of quick waves. And I guess I feel like historically with anime and with music fandom as well, right? In how I consume that kind of media anyway, and I feel like a lot of young people also go through this. It's just kind of quicker and quicker trend waves, right? So like you don't get to sit with a fandom at depth, and I think fandoms lead to kind of like a culture, right? I think back to back in the day when there were emos and goths and chavs and stuff in UK schools when I was younger, and people had like a lot of time to like soak into these cultures and create aesthetics within those cultures, right? And I guess a lot of what I see now is younger people trying on the hats of these aesthetics, but not really getting to feel like they belong anywhere. And like, dress how you want, do what you want. I'm fine with that. But I guess I feel like there's a bit of a loss there, because if you can't be kind of in a fandom in a way, you can't really concretely feel like you built a kind of group that you're in with other people that have similar ideas and similar language and similar looks, when instead you're just kind of being ping-ponged between kind of approximations of old aesthetics, and not really given a chance to soak into a new one by combining bits of the old ones, which is often what happens, right? I would argue emos were an offshoot of goths. Chavs existed because of socioeconomic environments, there were like a lot of things that naturally kind of fermented and came about because of a twist on something that came before, right? And I think it takes time, and I think it takes experience with people to like build traditions and cultures. I think that happens, from a gender, sex, religion, all those kinds of angles. It takes time to build something that feels a bit like connective, or at least it takes time for people to sit with that, right? And I guess I feel like I even think of people who write fanfics, right? Historically, when I was younger, it was like Tumblr, and there was some AO3, if that's still going, websites where people would post fanfics and stuff. But I guess I feel like with the advent of AI is kind of doing a lot of the remixing for us and like taking out our ability to be creative in that way, which I think ultimately robs us of our ability to explore ourselves, which is why I wouldn't say I'm pro or con AI, but I think that's a con to AI. I think it robs us of our abilities to use our brains in that way. I have used AI. I use it with weight loss stuff, but like I value my creative muscle a lot, and I don't really like to use creative AI to help me do creative stuff. I'd rather make bad stuff, but it be me. And I think that's the point I'm trying to make about how fandom's changed. It's got to have character and personality. It's not about being kind of perfect. It's about, I think about the punks of the 60s, Sex Pistols and stuff. They had an aesthetic, right? They did certain things. That was like, they lived that. That was what they were about. They were about that the whole time. They were with their buddies, being loud and rowdy and making punk music, and that's what they were doing, man. That was punk. But now we kind of wear punk coded stuff. We kind of dip our toe in a pond of punk, but we don't live punk. I don't live punk. I love punk and I don't live punk. So, I'm not saying I'm great and everyone else isn't. I'm great and everyone else is not like deep into their fandoms. Like this has changed for me too, man. I don't feel like I'm deep in like a culture that I was previously. Like I guess I connect like nerd kind of culture. I like playing board games and stuff, but like I think fandom is a really important kind of bonding point for cultures and communities, especially for neurodiverse individuals who like to share their interests. And it's interesting, our awareness of neurodiversity has gone up, but the connective tissue into which we could connect with people with neurodiversity differences has gone down, because we don't really have a collective experience we could share anymore. I think of Star Wars, for example. Star Wars, when it came out in the 80s, was like a huge deal. Like, everyone knew about it and people could connect over it, and that was like a fandom, right? Now we don't have a thing like Star Wars. I challenge any of you in the comments to give me anything that's as culturally significant universally with the people around you as Star Wars. I mean, I even think of The Amazing Digital Circus, which I got tickets for to go and see in cinemas. Very excited about that. That show's weird. I like it. It's fun eye candy. And even then, like, it's in like a specific niche, right? Like if I go down the street and I go, oh man, you're gonna go and see The Amazing Digital Circus soon, they're gonna be like, what's that? Because they're not chronically online, probably. And I think that makes it really hard to feel connected with the people around you, right? And fandom, I think, used to, in a broader sense, bring people together, but now it's keeping us apart. That's my take. I'd love to hear what you think. I've been Will. You've been wonderful. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.